He rides in fast with a mic in hand, boots on the ground, he's taking a stand. Talking top ropes and a steel cage fight, Dr. Love's bringing passion every Saturday night. From Nashville bars to the squared up stage, he's calling out legends, flipping the page with a cowboy hat and a wild red heart. He's been loving wrestling from the very start. Yeah. He's Dr. Love, the American cowboy, taking down hate and bringing the joy. From pile drivers to a power bomb kiss, ain't nothing sweeter than a suplex bliss. Red, white, and boots of flame. Aaron loves wrestling, riding that fame. He's breaking the rules, but he's always true. This cowboy's heart bleeds red, white, and blue. Turn up the heat when the lights go low. He's calling matches like a rodeo show with a rebel soul and a wild man's grin. If you step to the mic, you ain't gonna win. He's got love for the stories and love for the fight. Late night talks under neon lights. He'll walk that line between rough and refined. Dr. Love's got a lariat and a mastermind. Yeah, he's Dr. Love, the American cowboy, running on passion, not just a ploy. With fire in his voice and truth in his eyes, he's calling it live where the legend lies. Red, white, and boots of flame. Aaron loves wrestling, riding that fame. From the buckle to the brawl, he stands so tall. Dr. Love's here to give it his all. So raise your glass to the rebel host, to the cowboy doctor we all love most. From heartbreak heels to fan favorite cheers, he's been riding with wrestling for all these years. Dr. Love, the American cowboy. This ain't just a show, it's a power bomb blow. He rides in fast with a mic in hand, boots on the ground, he's taking a stand. Talking top ropes and a steel cage fight, Dr. Love's bringing passion every Saturday night. From Nashville bars to the squared up stage, he's calling out legends, flipping the page with a cowboy hat and a wild red heart. He's been loving wrestling from the very start. Yeah. He's Dr. Love, the American cowboy, taking down hate and bringing the joy. From pile drive the heat when the lights go low. He's calling matches like a rodeo show with a rebel soul and a wild man's grin. If you step to the mic, you ain't gonna win. He's got love for the stories and love for the fight. Late night talks under neon lights. He'll walk that line between rough and refined. Dr. Love's got a lariat and a mastermind. Yeah, he's Dr. Love, the American cowboy, running on passion, not just a ploy. With fire in his voice and truth in his eyes, he's calling it live where the legend lies. Red, white, and boots of flame. Aaron loves wrestling, riding that fame. From the buckle to the brawl, he stands so tall. Dr. Love's here to give it his all. Yeah. So raise your glass to the rebel host, to the cowboy doctor we all love most. From heartbreak heels to fan favorite cheers, he's been riding with wrestling for all these years. Dr. Love, the American cowboy. This ain't just a show, it's a power bomb blow. He rides in fast with a mic in hand, boots on the ground, he's taking a stand. Talking top ropes and a steel cage fight. Dr. Love's bringing passion every Saturday night. From Nashville bars to the squared up stage, he's calling out legends, flipping the page. With a cowboy hat and a wild red heart, he's been loving wrestling from the very start. Yeah, he's Dr. Love, the American cowboy, taking down hate and bringing the joy. From pile drivers to a power bomb kiss, ain't nothing sweeter than a suplex bliss. Red, white, and boots of flame. Aaron loves wrestling, riding that fame. He's breaking the rules, but he's always true. This cowboy's heart bleeds red, white, and blue. Turn up the heat when the lights go low. He's calling matches like a rodeo show with a rebel soul and a wild man's grin. If you step to the mic, you ain't gonna win. He's got love for the stories and love for the fight. Late night talks under neon lights. He'll walk that line between rough and refined. Dr. Love's got a lariat and a mastermind. Yeah, he's Dr. Love, the American cowboy, running on passion, not just a ploy. With fire in his voice and truth in his eyes, lights go down, the bell's about to ring. Aaron's in the booth talking about everything from WWE to you, classics and the rest. You know he's got the passion and he's bringing you the best. Aaron loves wrestling, feel that heat. Every finisher pop and heat.
How's it going on, my wrestling lovers? Aaron Loves Wrestling Podcast here, and I'm your host, Dr. Love himself, Aaron, and I'm here to review AEW and WWE this week. From All Out, Wrestlepalooza, Raw, NXT, Dynamite, all the way up to this point. We also got a great TNA Impact show tonight. The Hardys and T3D are going to have their final negotiation before Bound for Glory, which I'll be also doing a live watch along for that. Hopefully I have my brother Devin, the Tribal Chief, to join me for TNA Bound for Glory watch along show. This is going to be a great review here to discuss all professional wrestling that happened this week. Before I get started, I want to recommend Prince Nana Coffee. That's right. Good stuff. Prince Nana Coffee is the Cinnabon flavor is what I got. Next, I'm going to order the Cowboy flavor. But click the link in the description below for Prince Nana Coffee and go visit Prince Nana Coffee and order yourself some. It tastes great. I love it. First bag getting in today, and I got home and tried it, and I enjoy it. Also, click the link in the description. Order yourself some. I highly recommend it. Order yourself some Prince Nana Coffee. Swerve. That's right. So let's get into this. We're going to discuss All Out first because that was the first pay-per-view that started. I did a live watch along for that. Solid 5 hours. Great show, in my opinion. I enjoyed it. But here we are with the first match. Christian Cage and Adam Copeland going up against FTR. That was a great match from start to finish. We even got Copeland paying homage to John Cena when John Cena paid homage to Adam Copeland a couple weeks ago on SmackDown when he hit Sami Zayn with the spear in the United States Open Challenge match. And Adam Copeland did the same thing by hitting the 5-knuckle shuffle and an attitude adjustment, sending the message back to Cena that, hey, got it, respect you too, appreciate it, brother. This was a solid tag team match. I enjoyed it. We even got the debut in AEW, but the return of Beth Copeland, formerly known as Beth Phoenix. She returned. She speared at Adam Stokely, or Big Stoke, and she she carried him out of the ring. Christian Cope and Adam Cage finished with the win. They came out with the victory by hitting the Adam Copeland hitting the kill switch and Christian hitting the spear. And then they won 1, 2, 3. And then after the match, you had Mother Wayne and Nick Wayne come out and Kip Sabian handcuffed Adam Copeland to the ropes while Dax and Cashwheeler of FTR and Big Stoke, they beat up Christian Cage, and then even Beth Copeland. That's right. They did. They put out Beth Copeland and showed last night on Dynamite. After that, Adam Copeland said that he's going to go away for a little while, take care of his family. A lot of people are speculating this is his return to WWE. According to some reports online, no, is to do some filming. He's doing some filming for a movie. So when he gets done with that, he'll be back in AEW, and hopefully we'll get to see Adam Copeland and Christian Cage return in a tag team and win the tag team titles and go on one last tag team title run together. After this, we had Eddie Kingston return. The Mad King is back in AEW. We'll also see him this Saturday night in a tag match with Hook against Big Bill and Brian Keith on AEW Collision this Saturday. But he returned and All Out after 497 days. Now, this match was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't matches in there, but Eddie Kingston returning after pretty much a year and a half being gone due to injury, 497 days, and he returns in a match like this. And so he's better than I expected. So as he gets more in the ring, as he gets in the ring more, he will get better and better as we go. He came out with the win. Brian Keith and Big Bill attacked Eddie Kingston after the match. And then out comes Hook for the save. They fought him off. And then that's why we're going to have the tag team match set up this Saturday on AEW Collision, which I cannot wait. Next, we had the tables and tags match. Well, I thought this was really fun, phenomenal match between Mark Briscoe and MJF. Thought they put on a great tables and tag match, a different match stipulation than what we're used to. We're used to tables, we're used to ladders, we're used to chairs, we're used to all three TLC matches. But we got a tables and tags match, which was far better than I expected. I enjoyed this match. Tags everywhere, even sold it by the ref wearing gloves and some sleeves and some goggles to help protect him from the thumbtacks. MJF's gear all white, and then when he got bloody, and there's some jokes made of certain spots where he got bloody. It was fantastic. I loved it. It was a great match. This was a solid A+ match for me. I enjoyed it. So I love MJF. He's a great heel. Mark Briscoe is great as well, and they both had a great rivalry and a great match. And this is one way to end it. This was a great way to end it going out. We also had the Demand, Ricochet and the Gates of Agony going over Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, MVP, and it's great seeing MVP in the ring. I loved MVP. I was an MVP fan growing up as a kid. I always loved doing the balling, and I loved his theme music and everything. Everything about MVP to me was just so energetic and fun, and I just really loved MVP. And seeing him in the ring, and honestly, he still got it in my opinion. He's really good. Really, really good. Him teaming up with Lashley and Shelton Benjamin as well. It was really fun. And this is the Hurt Syndicate we should have gotten in WWE more. But I loved what they did here with the Hurt Syndicate. I love what they're doing with the Hurt Syndicate since they all three came to AEW. Hurt Syndicate has been a solid faction, trios. There's even talks of speculating of another member joining. I don't know if so. I don't know who, but I would love to see Powerhouse Hobbs to join. He'd be a great asset to this team, in my opinion. He just has the look for it. He can come out in a suit as well and all that. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the Hurt Syndicate, and I enjoy the Demand. Gates of Agony as well. The Demand is their new group name now. Not bad, but I love I do love the team. Ricochet and Gates of Agony are great together, and I really do hope this pays off when they win some trios titles, because it'll be great to even see them feud with the Hurt Syndicate over these trios titles. And Tony Khan's putting together some solid tag teams and steel trios. They're putting together. And, people are hating on all that with, especially with the addition of the AEW Women's Tag Team titles, which I'll get to later for the Dynamite review. But last night's show, All Out, or with the Trios titles, the Trios division, it's getting better. And that was one of my main complaints with AEW was the Trios division. It needed some to me, it needed a good bump with some new teams and everything like that. So I'm glad that we are getting that with the Demand, with the Hurt Syndicate. We even got Bang Bang Gang for when once one of the Guns gets fully recovered, he comes back. And even when Jay White comes back, hopefully we'll see him back by next year. So it was really it's really good that we're seeing this with the Trios division, and they're building up some Trios teams in AEW. So I'm hoping to see more, especially with Ace Austin in AEW as well. He can even join the Bang Bang games. There are talks of him joining the Bang Bang gang. So I enjoy seeing these trios and the tag teams being formed. A lot of people, I've seen some complaints about they're just pairing random teams together and blah, 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 random superstars. Honestly, they're not. Honestly, there's not a random pairing, in my opinion. It is you got to put people together to form a team, right? I mean, just think of many teams that we have seen together with superstars involved. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. The Rock and Mankind. Shawn Michaels and Triple H. DX, one of the famous tag teams in professional wrestling. Evolution. We can go even to the likes of the Bullet Club. I mean, there's so many factions we've seen with superstars paired up together, tag teams and all that. So it's just like, people complain, but their teams putting together. You got teams and factions. You got to put these people together. And then there's superstars already, putting them together with another superstar, it makes it even better. Like Ricochet and Gates of Agony. Gates of Agony has actually, in my opinion, benefited from teaming with Ricochet. The faction's a great team. The trio's a great team. I enjoyed it. I enjoy it very much. Ricochet is helping elevate Gates of Agony. And I hope Gates of Agony gets an AEW tag team title run soon. They deserve it. They earned it. I thought they was going to get last night when they had the tag team match for the championships last night. Thought it was going to happen, but it didn't. But I believe it soon will. So just give it time. It might even happen at Wrestle Dream. Same for the trios title. Maybe we get the Demand go after the trios titles against the Ops. Maybe. I don't know. But I enjoyed this match. The trios with Hurt Syndicate and Demand. It was a great match. And they got a great rivalry going on. And MVP even stated that's far from over. They won the battle, but not the war. So what if the Demand do win the trios championships? Now we got the Hurt Syndicate they can feud with over those titles. The Hurt Syndicate can win them. MVP and Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin. They can even win those titles. So I love this. I enjoy it. I'm glad to see it. Next, we had the TBS Championship match with Mercedes Moné and Rio. And Mercedes Moné, we all knew Mercedes Moné was going to win this, but these two ladies put on a great match. These two put on a great match, especially Rio, and it's great to see Rio back, and she put on a great match in her return. And some of the controversies I've seen online, mainly due to one individual. We all know who it is. She made some remarks about Rio and her wrestling attire, and even made remarks about how small she is and stuff like that. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and a lot of people have come to the defense of this. But when you make an opinion of someone, especially making fun of their size, making fun of maybe their weight or something like that, that can affect people. And I disagree with those comments made by Rio. And there's nothing wrong with the wrestling outfit. The wrestling outfit's fine. And so I just don't. I don't know. I'm not going to go too far into that because I don't want to waste time too much on something like that. I'm glad what Kenny Omega said. Kenny Omega had a great response to it on X. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and look at it. You can go look it up. But Rio and Mercedes Moné had a great match, a great TBS Championship match. And TBS Championship is still on Mercedes Moné, the CEO. So we'll see who dethrones her. Next month, she's going to pass up Jay Cargill's record with the title. So after that, it's just, in due time. Time will be taken on when she will lose the title. And I don't know if many people have noticed this, but with Mercedes Moné, or looking at Mercedes Moné's matches and how she has struggled in a lot of title matches lately by barely getting the win. To me, it's looking like a good sign of eventually it's coming. You're just going to be that right superstar. Who, you may ask? I'm still thinking Britt Baker. A lot of people have stated over and over that since she didn't return last night in her hometown, that she is not coming back. I disagree. We can still see her return at the 6-year anniversary next week. That's happening next week. Wrestle Dream. There's still the chance of her returning at Wrestle Dream. So this is so just because she didn't return in her hometown last night doesn't mean she's necessarily done with AEW. Now maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not saying that's a fact, but let's just keep it on in mind here that there are other places that she could return in a much bigger, with a much bigger crowd too, with Wrestle Dream or Full Gear, one of the two. So with Britt Baker coming back, she could be the one going after Mercedes Monday's title. It might not even be her. It might be Jamie Hayter. It might be maybe let's not count out Toni Storm. She just lost the AEW Women's World Championship. Tekla. Who else? I mean, there's so many other women on the roster that could benefit from winning that title. Athena still can win the title. Just because she lost already doesn't mean she can't come back and challenge Mercedes Monday for it again. And maybe even raise the stakes higher by putting her Ring of Honor Women's Championship on the line, baiting Mercedes Monday. Here's a good story. Athena comes back, challenges for that title. She has the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. In order to get Monet to accept the challenge, Monet's like, nah, I already beat you. Next challenger, don't need it, blah, blah, blah. Then Athena baits her into winning, or baits her into, all right, you put your title on the line, I put my title on the line. You win, you get another title. How about that, Miss Belt Collector? And then Monet could fall into that temptation and yield to it and accept the challenge. And then we have Athena winning and dethroning her as the TBS champion. That's a good way to do it. And then Athena could be your new TBS champion. Next, we got a phenomenal, and I mean, this match to me was my second favorite match of the night. Had not Kyle Fletcher and Hangman put on the match they did, this match right here is going to win it for me for All Out. AEW Unified Championship match 3-way, Kazuchika Okada, Mascara Dorada, and Konosuke Takeshita. And Dorada really shined in this match. He really did. And I love Dorada. He's had great matches, but this one right here, this match, in my opinion, A+. I mean, this match was a 5-star classic, 10 out of 10. This match was great from start to finish. Even the story in the ring, they said the moves that they did. I mean, this match was fantastic, and I loved this match. All three of them put on a great wrestling match. You can go and rewatch it. And then you had Okada retain the AEW Unified Championship. Excuse me. Retain the Unified Championship, and then you had so it's going to lead up to Okada and Takeshita. I was thinking Wrestle Dream, but a good friend of mine, Mind Runner, made a good comment about let's not rush this. Let's build this up and let's give this a little while longer. And we could even possibly see this go down at either Full Gear or at World's End to win Takeshita defeats Okada for the title. Honestly, I wouldn't mind him winning the Unified or Continental Classic, or if he does defeat Okada, Tony Khan can strip him of the Continental title, make it vacant, hold a Continental Classic, and then we have a new champion. Or Takeshita can go challenge Okada for his international championship, win it, Unified Championship's retired, and then when Okada remains the Continental Champion, loses it to somebody from the Continental Classic after we get a tournament winner from that, and then you also have Takeshita as your AEW International Champion, and then possibly IWGP World Champion. He is the G1 tournament winner, so he has a shot at the IWGP World Championship, which if he wins that, seeing that on AEW Dynamite would be great. An AEW show. That title is beautiful, and I love IWGP. I love New Japan Pro Wrestling. I saw the show yesterday. Desperado and Yo put on a great match for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. Tanahashi in his match with Master Wota, I think it was. Yeah, Wota. Was a great match. There was a trios match I was in the middle of. And, I'll finish it here in a minute. Uh, uh, that was good as well as watched so far. So I'm still watching that show from yesterday, but so far it's been so good. So go watch it. New Japan Pro Wrestling putting on some great matches in itself. And speaking of that, a lot of people complain about AEW. They complain about AEW and how they do their matches and stuff. But if you watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, if you watched it at all, you will see the format and everything, the formula, everything's similar to AEW. And it basically AEW has brought that to the States with all the elite wrestling, New Japan to the States with all the wrestling, how they do things, the tournaments, the matches, how they focus on combat sports and not. It doesn't have to be all about stories and production and this and that. It's about the wrestling. It's about the story being told in the ring with the wrestling matches. And to me, that's what I like seeing. It's a great wrestling match. I love a good story. I love a really good story. But I can get a great 5-star banger of a match and have no story to it than getting a great story with the promos and the production, and the video packages, and all this, and then the match just doesn't deliver. But I wouldn't mind having the best of both worlds either. So I'm kind of all around with my wrestling. I love it. I love professional wrestling. So seeing this, watching AEW, and then you watch New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom and CMLL and all these other companies that kind of resemble AEW. This is why a lot of people get AEW. This is why a lot of people don't understand AEW is because of this. It's because of they're used to the way that WWE's done things for so many years. But when you step outside of the WWE bubble and you watch New Japan and you appreciate AEW for what AEW is, New Japan for what New Japan is, and WWE for what WWE is, and they're different in each way, that is how you appreciate every single wrestling company. Me personally, I love AEW more. Yeah, I'll say it. I love it more because I love what they do in the ring. Same with New Japan. But I also love WWE and the characters they got and everything like that. Going on and for All Out Coffin match with Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. This was a great match as well. Blood and matches like this with blood, and this is what I love about AEW. They're not afraid to bring the blood into these type of matches, the steel cage and all that stuff. And that's what I love. Texas Death Match. I love seeing blood in these wrestling matches. So that's one thing that I get upset with WWE is that when you have matches, let's say Elimination Chamber, right? We used to have blood all over the ring back in the day, especially when it first started. Selling the match, selling what the chamber can do to one's career, and that's what they've always made Elimination Chamber out to be, is that this will change your career, and when wrestlers go through this, you might see some wrestlers go out for a little while due to how bad they got beat up in the Elimination Chamber, how bloody they were and stuff like that. It sold the match. But when you get Elimination Chamber and there's no blood or anything like that, especially after they hit their faces on the steel cage and all this stuff, and glass, when the glass that they stand in before they come out, it kind of lessens the match, and it kind of brings the match down, in my opinion, and it doesn't live up to the hype when you hype this up as this is a career changing type match. So when I see AEW put on have blood in these type of matches, just like the lights out steel cage match that they had, Ben Dorn, they had the blood in there, Texas Death Match and All In the match with Hangman and all that, it sells it, and I love it more. But it was a great match with Moxley, and had the return of Pac in the ring. Pac came back, and he helped Moxley win the match. And I don't know if a lot of people also noticed, but I've seen Wheeler Yuta. He's kind of been the fall guy, and if he's not also being the fall guy, he's been the one that has cost the Death Riders basically all the gold. The trios titles, the world championship at All In, You had him basically go on this mission to recruit Chris Statlander. That didn't happen after last night. We'll get to that later. But you had all this going on with Yuta, and I think he's going to. I really think he's going to be the fall guy, and he's eventually going to get kicked out of the group. And I would like it because then he could go on to have a singles babyface run, maybe for the Continental Championship or something like that, and we get that. And we get that out of Wheeler Yuta. So it was a great match. Great to see Pac back. I'm glad that he is back in AEW after recovering from injury, and he cut his hair. So it was great to see Pac back, and it's great to see Pac back in AEW. And then you had the conglomeration backstage talking about going backstage, and they are talking about going up against the Don Callis family and Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly. They make all these hints of Orange Cassidy. And O'Reilly was on the phone with someone. They asked, is he good, basically? Is he coming back? And Kyle O'Reilly responded, well, yeah. He said, whatever. And then they gave the lazy thumbs up, which basically means Orange Cassidy, and he returned last night on Dynamite. Again, we'll get that later. But next we had the AEW Women's World Championship 4-way match. Great match by these four ladies. I enjoyed this match very much. It was a great women's wrestling match, and this is what I love about women's wrestling, not only AEW but WWE. They have, I'm not focused on anything they're wearing or anything like that. I focus on the wrestling, the character development, and everything. That is what I'm looking for when it comes to women's wrestling, and I love how they're being treated better, way better than what they were way back in the old wrestling days. Back in the old wrestling days, they were just basically the sex symbol and these lingerie matches and all these being revealing and these sexualized type clothes and stuff like that. And I didn't like that. I always changed the channel. I didn't care to see it because I don't want to see that. I don't want to look at that. In my opinion, it's not right. So now that I see women in professional wrestling as a whole, not just AEW, but in WWE, TNA, etc., and they're getting the titles for their divisions, they're getting the pay-per-views, they're getting the spotlight, the main events. It's great to see this for women in professional wrestling, especially in this time. And you're seeing women's wrestling elevate more and more and more at each company, whether it be AEW or WWE, TNA, New Japan. They just keep elevating and getting the spotlight more and more and more. So I love it, and I'm here for it. So we had Chris Statlander in this match come out. This was a great match by all four. Back and forth. I honestly didn't know who was going to win. I picked Chris Statlander to win in my predictions, and by God, she won. So I'm glad that Chris Statlander has finally become AEW Women's World Champion. Well deserved, well earned, in my opinion. So congratulations to Stat Daddy for winning the AEW Women's World Championship, and we'll see what's next for Toni Storm after this. And this doesn't hurt Toni Storm. Toni Storm is still a star without the championship. She is. She's held that title since AEW Grand Slam, Australia, and she put on a great run. And all applause to timeless Toni Storm. So I was glad that she not only had a good title run, but she put over Chris Statlander, and it was great to see that. Mercedes Moné will eventually do it with the TBS Championship. All these complaints that I see online that she's been holding this title and holding the division down and blah, 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 blah. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. Why? Because all these complaints and the hate and everything, the rage, clickbait, all of that is for no reason. She is holding that championship, setting a record. I don't get why people get so upset and uptight about somebody holding a title more than a month. I don't like seeing titles hot potatoed around, and 1 minute they're on this wrestler, next minute they're on this wrestler, and blah, blah, blah. I don't like that. I like seeing a long title race. For example, John Moxley held the title. Look what it did for Heyman Adam Page, one of the top baby faces of professional wrestling. He's the face of AEW. Look what it did to him. And after all who Moxley went through, everybody's like, well, who's going to defeat John Moxley? He went through Swerve. He went through Adam Copeland, Orange Cassidy even, and so many wrestlers to hold that title hostage. And then Heyman Adam Page and, of course, everybody else came to help. And then we had a great it was a great win for Hangman Adam Page, and the fans loved it. Everybody had fun with it and the experience, especially me, all in Texas. It was just great to see Hangman Adam Page and everything just pay off. And a lot of people, there were some podcasts even going on. They didn't know John Moxley's not going to drop it. He's going to hold on that title, and he's going to hold on to it to Full Gear. And it's going to be Darby Allin's going to be the one to dethrone him in Full Gear. And you had all that go leading up to All In, and they were wrong. Heyman Adam Page won. Same thing what they're saying about Mercedes Moné. They're holding down the division. She's been through everybody. She hasn't been through everybody. She has not been through everybody in the women's division. I guarantee you. There's a few that she hasn't been through. So who is it going to take? I don't know. But even if she did beat everybody, who cares? Who cares? Eventually, somebody's going to come step up and dethrone and defeat Mercedes Moné for that title. And once it happens, that woman who defeats her is going to be elevated, and everyone's going to love her because she took the title off Moné, which everybody is starting to get tired of and boredom of and all this. That's the whole point, especially for a heel. John Moxley played a perfect heel with that title. Holding it hostage, not selling it. And no matter all the complaints that we heard online through the podcast, this is ridiculous. This isn't helping the company. Blah, 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 blah. That's the whole point of a heel. That's the whole point of a heel. And there's different heels do different things. Okay? So we're seeing the same thing with Mercedes Moné. Somebody's going to dethrone her for that again. I think it'll be a great story for Athena to come back, to challenge her for it again. Mercedes kind of shrugging her off. No, I'm not going to do it. And then she baits her with the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Hey, it's another Women's World title. And then she accepts, and then we get Athena dethroning Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. Then we had the amazing four-way tag team title match. Young Bucks, Jet Speed, Josh Alexander and Jesus Chero, and of course the champions Bandito and Brody King. And this was a fantastic match. All of these men put on a great tag team match. All the spots and everything, they put everything out on the line for this. And there was many times that went on that you thought Young Bucks were going to win or Jet Speed was going to win, but Brodito came out victorious. And at the end, Young Bucks were still in the ring, and out comes Jack Perry. Jungle Boy Jack Perry comes back, gives the middle finger to the Bucks. He starts fighting them off. Then the Young Bucks team up on Jack Perry. They go for the EVP trigger, and then Jack Perry just looks up to him and starts smiling. Then this video package played, and then you had the video package that played on the screen, and of course we saw it on our end on our screen, and it was basically Jack Perry reviving Luchasaurus and bringing back Luchasaurus. He was the one that brought the monster back. And then the lights come back on. Looking behind the Young Bucks, and he double slams them both. And then we get the Jurassic Express reunion, the theme back as well. The theme, and I had so much fun. You watch along and some of the clips I posted. So much fun. I love seeing Jurassic Express there. And we'll get to see him next on Dynamite for the 6-year anniversary show. I can't wait. It's going to be great seeing those two back together because I missed Jurassic Express and the elevation, the tag team division, and they're different. Used to boy and his dinosaur. They first came around. Now it's a man and his monster. And I look, the different name, the different feel, the shirts and everything. So I'm glad to see Jurassic Express back. I'm interested to see what's new and different with them, and then we'll see where it goes from here. And it'll be great to see them get involved in the tag team titles and maybe even dethrone Brodito. Maybe that's where this is going to go at Full Gear, or maybe not Full Gear. Oh yeah, maybe at Full Gear. Maybe Wrestle Dream we get Bucks and Jurassic Express in the match, and then the winner of that will face Brodito for the tag team titles, and then they will face. They'll have that go down at Full Gear, and we'll get Jurassic Express as the new AEW Tag Team Champions once again. And then next we had the banger 40-minute match with Cal Fletcher and Hangman Adam Page, and I mean it was a 5-star classic as well. 2 5-star classics on the show. The AEW 3-Way Unified Championship match and the AEW Men's World Championship match. And just like we all knew, Heyman Adam Page won this match, as we know going in. But the match that both these men put on, especially Cal Fletcher, and Cal Fletcher basically showed off his what he can do, not only in the ring, but leading up to All Out and the promos and everything like that. Cal Fletcher is the future of AEW. And I've seen the complaints online. Again, there's so much complaining about AEW and the way they do things, and they just do everything wrong in professional wrestling. I'm to the point now, I have turned it off. I don't look for it. I just see it show up on my feed, and I'm just like, really? And it's just ridiculous. And I get the trolls and the comments and everything like that when I stand up and defend AEW, because I do. Because I love AEW. I love wrestling. Everyone's like, oh, you should change your name to Aaron Loves AEW because you don't love AEW. No, I love WWE as well. I'll get to Wrestlepalooza here in a minute, coming to the end of All Out. Then I'll get to Raw. Then I'll get to NXT, and then Dynamite. Going over AEW and WWE this week, and giving my honest opinion on everything, because I love professional wrestling. But what I love about wrestling, especially when it's AEW and New Japan, it's even CMLL, they put on these great wrestling matches. The 20 to 40 minute matches, the Iron Man matches, it's better wrestling to me. WWE can put on some good matches, some great matches themselves, but a lot of times it's all about more so the promos and the video, maybe the video package, the production and stuff like that. And I don't mind a good promo battle. I don't mind when you get 2 in the ring and they give a great promo. But at the end, I still want to see great wrestling matches. Sami Zayn and Rey Fenix had a great match on SmackDown a little over a week ago for the United States Championship. Love that match. Penta has some great matches every single week on Monday Night Raw. Love seeing him in his match, but I would love to see him in a different feud than the freaking New Day. Unless this is going to lead to a Lucha Bros reunion. And if so, then it's going to pay off, in my opinion. But if it doesn't, then this has been a pointless feud. But it's been some great wrestling. He puts on great matches with Xavier Woods, put on a great match with Grayson Waller this past week, Kofi Kingston. He's put on great matches with him. But I love that this match went 40 minutes. And WWE Wrestlepalooza tried to counter-program it with Brock Lesnar and John Cena. I didn't flip the channel. One, I was in my All Out watch-along, so I wasn't going to do it. Even if I weren't, I'm still going to sit through this match, because this match to me was going to be a far better wrestling match than Cena and Brock Lesnar. And to think that WWE is going to counter-program with just a little, I heard this is a little 8-minute match. It was a little over 8 minutes. A few AAs and F5s, and boom, done. Compared to this wrestling match, we got some great wrestling. Great wrestling moves, the technical wrestling, the high-flying wrestling, everything involved in this match, and it all came together. That's wrestling. That whole little clip of Ric Flair hitting himself, this is pro wrestling, bro. That's what this match was, wrestling. And that's what I love about this match. Heyman Adam Page came out to win again. This is A+++, 5-star classic, 10 out of 10. Heyman Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher put a fantastic match, and Heyman retained. And you saw at the end that Heyman was talking to Kyle Fletcher while he was laying on the mat. And I really do believe Heyman was giving him his flowers, like, man, you put on a great match. Great. You did great. Your time's coming. Just be patient. I guarantee you he said something of that matter in those words to Kyle Fletcher. And then Kyle Fletcher eventually is going to win that championship. This is how I would like for this to go down. Later on, we get Kyle Fletcher winning the AEW Men's World Championship, either against MJF or Heyman and Page. Maybe MJF fails at cashing in for the AEW Men's World Championship. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to be successful either at Full Gear or at World's End, and we're going to see MJF as world champion, Men's World Champion again. But but Kyle Fletcher defeating MJF for that title. And then at next year's at AEW All In, what's how Will Ospreay recovers. He's in the main event with Kyle Fletcher, and they're wrestling for the AEW Men's World Championship, and that's when you can see Will Ospreay win his first AEW Men's World Championship in AEW. So that was AEW All Out. Now we're getting to Wrestlepalooza. Again, this was a good show. It was good. Okay. But it really was. It didn't really live up to the hype, and that was Triple H and WWE's mistake. You set these expectations so high for this match, for this card, this pay-per-view, because you wanted everyone to tune in to Wrestlepalooza on ESPN. And if you think that, if you really do think that this was better than All Out, in my opinion, then I'm sorry, but it's not. And I'm not. If you thought WWE Wrestlepalooza was better than All Out, then you're a WWE fan, okay? But if you're a wrestling fan, now if WWE put on a better show with better matches and everything lived up to the hype, Wrestlepalooza could have Wrestlepalooza and All Out would probably been an equal better show. Both just as equal as great shows. But the fact that Triple H and WWE hyped up Wrestlepalooza, they hyped up this PLE so much to surprises and etc. I mean, the only surprises that we really got, Pat McAfee. Now, if he showed up, he was on commentary. Okay, better. But he just showed up for a few seconds and the was it. And then you had the guys of Undertaker showing up and announcing that Stephanie McMahon was going to be the first in the 26 Hall of Fame, which that's great too. Happy for her. She did. She's been a pioneer in WWE and has been in many great feuds, and the general manager of SmackDown, and when she was at the Authority and Triple H in that time in the PG era, great there. She had some great matches of her own in wrestling. She had a good one with Nikki Bella or Brie Bella, one of the Bellas at SummerSlam, and then you had the tag match that she had with Triple H at WrestleMania 34, I believe it was. The mixed tag team match. So she's had a great career. And Undertaker showing up and saying she's going to be the first inductee, I like it. But the fact that this was hyped up so much to this spectacular show and a WrestleMania type feel, and that's what it was hyping up to be. It was just basically going to be another WrestleMania, but it didn't deliver like WrestleMania. So I think had they not done that and hyped it up so much, a lot of more fans would have appreciated the pay-per-view. But when you hype it up and set everyone's expectations high and then you don't deliver and it's a disappointment, then people are going to overlook a lot of things good that happened and then really complain about the show and give it the C grade, F grade, D grade, whatever. Honestly, this was a C grade for me, a D grade. The only thing great that came out of this pay-per-view was Stephanie Vaquer and So Io Sky, they put on a fantastic wrestling match, and that is wrestling. 5-star classic, in my opinion, 10 out of 10. That was a great wrestling match between those two. I loved it. And this was the greatest match on the card. They stole the show. But Brock Lesnar, John Cena, like I said, basically a few AAs, FUs, or F5s, my bad. F5s. 6 straight F5s to Cena. And then the match was uncontested. He just beat down John Cena, and that was it. Since this match was uncontested, and Lesnar won, basically, we're going to get, for Cena's final, Lesnar-Cena Part 2. And then I bet it's going to be a better wrestling match. They're actually going to wrestle every 40-minute match, but at least a 15, maybe between 20 and 25. Give us something really good, especially for Cena's last match. Give us a really good wrestling match. So yeah, okay match. I mean, they got where the fans are crying, the kids are crying in the ring, in the arena because Cena lost and things like that, and that brings out the emotion. But again, I'm here for wrestling. Aaron loves wrestling. Okay, wrestling. Okay, I'm not. And a lot of people poke at me and all this stuff because I like a lot more matches, a lot more wrestling matches better with AEW and New Japan just because they deliver me more better wrestling matches. WWE does too. I'm not saying they don't. I'm about to get to a good one here with the tag team match with the Usos against the Vision. But if I get really good wrestling matches, which I think Cena and Styles will give us at Crown Jewel, that's what I'm going to love because I love wrestling. But this was a good match in itself. LA Knight was a special guest referee, which added to the match. Jay and Jimmy Uso. There's a spot in here where Jay hit Braun Breaker with the chair, and it ricocheted off him, hit Jay, and it really injured Jay. They're saying it was a concussion. It was bloody and all that. I don't think I've ever seen that when someone gets hit with the chair and it ricochets and it smacks the guy holding the chair and it puts him out. I've never seen that. That was the first for me. And I'm glad it wasn't worse than what it was. I mean, a concussion is bad, but it could have been a heck of a lot worse. But I was really concerned with Jey Uso. And I hope he recovers and we can continue this because I think he's trying to be where he's the next tribal chief. I really do. I give this one a good 4 out of 5 in my opinion, or 3.5 out of 5 is put that. Because 7 out of 10. This was a good wrestling match, good tag team match. But yeah, we had the Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. They won. So we'll see what happens next with this, especially when it comes to the Usos. But yeah, I'm glad Jay's okay, and I hope he recovers and gets better, and we can see the Usos back together again. Maybe win tag team titles once more, because Usos are one of the greatest tag teams of all time, in my opinion. And I honestly would just like to see them back together as their last run. Jey Uso, they stripped the world title off of him too soon, and to do it in a pointless way for Gunther to hold the world title just to have a world title match with Goldberg for his final match. That I disagreed with, and it made no sense. So, but great match. Give it a good, like I said, 3.5 out of 5, and I give it a good B+. But then we have the match of the night: Stephanie Valkyrie and Io Sky, and I really enjoyed this match. Like I said, these two put on a great wrestling match. This was like an A++ to me, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. 5-star match, 10 out of 10. This match was great and it delivered. And these two put on one heck of a match, and it really, in my opinion, saved the whole pay-per-view. But I enjoyed this. Stephanie Valkyr came out as the Women's World Champion. I'm glad she's getting her push. I'm glad that she is. I hope Julia does here soon. Her with the United States Championship, in my opinion, and being basically lost in the mix and doing is poor booking. So I'm glad that Stephanie Valkyr is getting her shine. She's getting her run. And again, these 2.1 a great match. One I will go back and rewatch again because it was that good. So if you didn't watch it, you missed a great match. I encourage you to go rewatch it. I encourage you to go watch it. Now we have a really fun match with Punk and Lee going up against Lynch and Rollins. This was a really good match. It was good to see Lee back in the ring. There's some ways where she showed some rust and everything, and some there's a few times she looked hesitant on things and some botches. But other than that, this was a really good match in my opinion. I guess another 3.5 out of 5. Honestly, fun match. Lee and Punk, seeing them tag team against. I love seeing couples wrestle together in wrestling. It's fun, especially when you go up against another couple. If we still had Killer Cross and Scarlett in WWE, which hopefully we will get them back, it'd be great to see them go up against Lynch and Rollins or against Lee and Punk. I think they could tell a really good story with that, have a really good match. But seeing Lee and Punk in the ring together and seeing them get to wrestle together, and even seeing AJ Lee back, it looks like she's going to be back, and she is going to be back for a while. She signed a multi-year contract, so we're going to see some dream matches with her. Her first match, it looks like it's going to be against Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. She'll more likely, I would imagine, she'll win that. She'll be the one to dethrone Becky Lynch for that title. But they're going to give us a great feud. So I'm excited. I'm here for it. And Punk, we'll see what goes on from here because after this past Monday Night on Raw, which we'll get here shortly, Rollins and Cody are going to go in that crown jewel match, and I'll get my thoughts on that later. But again, this was a good match between them. Lee and Punk comes out with the win as we all expected it for Lee's return match. Again, this was a good, a match for me because it was fun seeing these two back in the ring, or seeing Lee back in the ring, especially teamed up with CM Punk, and then she's going up against Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. So we'll see what goes on from here. We'll see what's next for CM Punk. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Punk go after Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship and dethrone Cody Rhodes. I mean, I think we kind of ran the Punk and Rollins feud to the ground, in my opinion. Let's move on from that. See him in fresh feuds, especially against Cody. I think he'll be really good. So we'll see what happens there. And then speaking of Cody, we get the WWE Championship match with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. And this was a okay match. This was good. But Drew McIntyre should have won here. Drew McIntyre should have won. And I made a comment earlier today, or was it today? No, yesterday, that, someone pointed out that Tony Khan has fumbled many wrestlers, blah, blah, blah. And then I chimed in with my comment, yeah, Triple H has done the same thing. And I listed off a few, and Drew McIntyre was one of them. And the reason why I listed off Drew McIntyre is because we've seen since 2020, what has he done, really? I mean, he's been in some good feuds. Don't get me wrong. He's been in some good stories and some good matches, but championships. Oh, he won the world championship. Yeah, for like 45 seconds, for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it was. Just to lose it to Damian Priest. No disrespect to Damian Priest. He had a great world title run, in my opinion. Then here's another one, Damian Priest. Look what happened to him after his world championship. What's happened to him since losing the world championship? I mean, it's just there's so many wrestlers that should be getting the spotlight right now, and they're not in WWE, and this is what's frustrating. And there's no knock to Cody Rhodes. This is no knock to Cody Rhodes at all. I like Cody. I'm not a huge fan like many people are, but I like him because he's a Rhodes. I like I like Dustin Rhodes. I like Cody Rhodes. I love Dusty Rhodes. But Drew McIntyre should have got the win here, especially if you're delivering as old surprises and this and that and the other. This would have been a big surprise because I'm sure everybody was going in, yeah, Cody's going to retain this title. I won't say everybody, a lot of people. Very few were like, no, Drew's going to win. He's got to win. And I think many that were saying that Drew was going to win is because it would have made sense, especially for this big type of pay-per-view that you're hyping up. So I don't know. I enjoyed the match. It was a good wrestling match, but the outcome disappointed me because Drew McIntyre should have won. Drew McIntyre should have won this match. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins be in the Crown Jewel match. It would have been great. We've seen Cody and Seth so many times. So I don't know. Drew McIntyre should have won this. So this was a good match. I give us a good B grade because of the good wrestling match, but the outcome should have been Drew McIntyre, and that's just my opinion. But it was a good match. So that's your Wrestlepalooza. You know, I think I'll give it a good, like I said, a good C as well. I agree with ESPN on that. It was a good C type show. Wasn't that great, but there's some good matches. Some good matches. The only one the only match that was disappointed in. Well, I'd say I was disappointed in Drew and Cody as well, but it's because the outcome. But the match that was just really disappointing was Lesnar and Cena. I mean, we could have got a better wrestling match out of that. So, I mean, if this is leading up to Cena's final match on Saturday Main Event, I can see why they did it. But if it doesn't, then it was a disappointment. Well, we'll see where it goes from here. So right now it's a disappointment. But if it leads up to where, Cena's like, I want one more time I can defeat you, Lesnar, blah, blah, blah. And this is how Cena goes out. Then that'll be the outcome of the story because, if I'm not mistaken, Lesnar had defeated Cena more times than Cena's defeated Lesnar, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. But it'll be a good way to, he conquers the beast. Good way to go out. I just don't want him going out in a title match and then he loses. We don't need a title match for Cena's last match. We don't. But I'm hyped for Cena versus Styles. I'm glad they gave the fans what they wanted. Cena versus Styles is going to be a great match at Crown Jewel. So I'm hyped up for that one. And we got, speaking of Crown Jewel, we got Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes going champion for champion to be Crown Jewel champion. Crown Jewel is going to be in Perth, Australia this year. It's not going to be in Saudi. They're probably going to hold back on a lot of Saudi shows due to the Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania is not going to be holding place there, or they might be in Crown Jewel again next year. But probably be Crown Jewel next year. I guarantee you, there's going to be a Crown Jewel next year in Saudi. They're going to have the Royal Rumble, Crown Jewel, and then WrestleMania. And I have no doubt in my mind, eventually there'll be a SummerSlam. No doubt. I heard they're paying $250 million for WrestleMania in 2027. $250 million. And this is why I'm upset with the ticket prices being raised in WWE. You're getting that much money. And then who knows how much they're getting for the Royal Rumble being in Saudi. And then you get the show you got earlier this year in Saudi. I don't see why WWE thinks it's okay to raise these ticket prices. And even Eric Bischoff has even stated that, this is going to hurt WWE in the long run because you're going to be raising up all these prices and the families, and that's the core of WWE's fan base is our families. And this is where, and this could drive away families to TNA or AEW because the ticket price is being raised. And y'all can say, oh, well, somebody buy those tickets. Sure, somebody will buy those tickets, but will they continue to keep buying them? I don't know. But even if somebody will buy those tickets, you still got to think of those who are in the mid and lower class that would love to attend wrestling shows but can't. And you're just that greedy because you want more money. I heard TKO's in debt. Okay, not my fault you're in debt. You should have been better with your finances instead of buying another company that you couldn't afford. If I can't afford to buy a car, but I want a car, I'm not going to go buy the car, just put myself in debt. And we're going to have to go work more for that car. No. Now, if I need it, then I'll go need it. But if I just want it, because I want it, no. And TKO is the reason why we have a lot of these ticket prices being raised. It's not WWE. It's not Triple H's fault. So don't blame Triple H. Don't blame WWE. It's TKO. So let's get into Monday Night Raw. So we had Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins come out. Rollins called himself the Alpha. And Cody Rhodes reminded Seth Rollins that Rhodes is 3-0 against Seth Rollins, and that's a fact. Cody Rhodes defeated Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 38 when he returned to WWE. And then the Hell in a Cell match that they had, and the other match that they had, where was it at? They had one more match. So Cody Rhodes defeated Seth Rollins 3 times. He's 3-0. Seth Rollins asked, "What do you think of me, Cody?" And Rhodes said, "You changed my life." Shield, according to him, being his shield for WrestleMania 40. Rollins said that you could be the quarterback, but not my quarterback. Great promo by these two. Cody keeps calling himself the quarterback, but hate to say it. Well, no, I don't hate to say it. I don't care to say it. If you get upset about it, I don't care. Roman Reigns is still the guy. Roman Reigns is still the guy. He still has that aura. When Roman Reigns comes back, everybody's wanting Roman Reigns, are paying to see Roman Reigns. Even if the ticket prices are high, they're still going to pay the ticket. And it's just, like I said, I like Cody, but I would really like a Cody heel turn. A lot of people are saying, no, Cody, because he's the babyface and this and that, but a Cody heel. Just look at Roman Reigns, okay? Now, I'm a big Roman Reigns fan. I've been a big Roman Reigns fan since he came out with the Shield. He was my guy from the Shield. He was always my guy. Many were picking Rollins. Many were picking Ambrose. But it was me. It was Roman Reigns. And then when they split, I stuck with Roman Reigns. And I stuck with them through thick and thin. And everybody started complaining about Roman. I said, no, he doesn't suck. Roman Reigns is the guy. I love Roman Reigns. He's going, and he is the face of WWE. And then when he came out with the Tribal Chief deal, especially with Paul Heyman and the Bloodline and everything and all that, and it all paid off. And it still is. So then we got so Roman Reigns is still the quarterback. Cody Rhodes is the backup, the one they throw in. Roman Reigns ain't there. He's the backup quarterback. That's who Cody Rhodes is. In football, you got the first string and the second string. Right now, the first string is out. But when he returns, it's going to be Roman Reigns. And he's going to win one. He's going to win one of the championships. I just know it. I think it's going to be the World Championship. It'd be great to see him and Rollins go at it and Roman win the World Championship. But we'll see. Jimmy Uso told Jay that he tried to get a rematch against Division, but but Jay Uso booked himself in a match against LA Knight. So it looks like we're getting, but and then with Jey Uso, when he responded, he's giving me that Roman Reigns 2020 vibes when he became the Tribal Chief. And maybe maybe that's who the next Tribal Chief is going to be, Jey Uso. And we're going to see Jey Uso as the next Tribal Chief. So if so, I like it. I do. This will be something new for Jey Uso. And him being the Tribal Chief, the next one. Roman can be the High Chief. Him and Rock can have a match, and he can be the High Chief. That's what I like to see. We still need that Roman versus Rock match. We do. And when we get it, it needs to be where Roman defeats him, and he becomes the High Chief, and the Jey could be appointed the Tribal Chief. So we got Penta and Grayson Waller. And again, the War Raiders and Penta defeated New Day and Grayson Waller. So we get that match. And they won. War Raiders and Penta won. And I want to see Penta team up with Rey Fenix. The Lucha Bros need to be back together. It would help both of them. And it would be great for them to be in the tag team division, especially on Raw, because the tag team division on Raw needs more good tag teams. So I would love to see the tag team division take. I would love to see the Lucha Bros in the Raw tag team division. But Penta and the War Raiders won against New Day and Grayson Waller. And this was a great wrestling match, by the way. This was a great wrestling match. I loved it. And I loved how Penta did the Mexican Destroyer off the top rope. That was awesome. And Grayson Waller did great and sold it. So, like I said, this was a great wrestling match. This was a great trios match with Penta and New Day against the New Day and Grayson Waller. Or Penta and War Raiders against the New Day and Grayson Waller. So we also get Roxanne Perez and JD Banana backstage. We get the Judgment Day angle, and it looks like Rusev is going to be facing Dirty Dom, Dominic Mysterio, for the Intercontinental Championship. It's like they're building up to, and if so, I would love to see Rusev as Intercontinental Champion. Rusev is one of my favorite wrestlers. He's one of my favorite guys. Rusev Day. And we need to see Rusev as champion again at Dominant. If you don't want this return for Rusev after leaving AEW, if you don't want to see this turn into a big flop, then push him. Push him in the world title picture. Push him up against Seth Rollins. Honestly, we have seen Rusev in the Intercontinental United States title picture, or United States title picture anyway. We need Rusev in the world title picture. We need these new faces in the world title picture. We're always getting the same old, same old. You want to build the future of WWE? That's how you do it. And Rusev is one of them. And I really like this Bayley two-face thing. And I put it up there. Bayley having a two-face character. And someone even pointed out on Threads, it would be great if she did the like that. Not ponytail, but dog ear hairstyle with the straight one. And she has that with like a half hugger type attire with the role model one. I think that would be cool. But this little split personality, just her being like a two-face type character, would be cool. I think it would. Next, we get the new women's world champion, Stephanie Valkyrie. She comes out for a little promo, thanking the fans and all, and she claims that nobody will stop me. We'll see. Maybe Rhea Ripley, maybe. But this was really good, and we also got the WWE Women's Championship match this Friday night on SmackDown. It's going to be Nia Jax, Jade Cargill, and Tiffany Stratton in a triple threat match for this championship. Whoever wins will face Stephanie Valkyrie at Crown Jewel for the Crown Jewel Women's Championship. I'm not a fan of this Crown Jewel Championship. I'm not. Sorry. And a lot of people want to hate on AEW for their many titles. But if you look at AEW and their titles, it's 9. Including the women's tag team titles now. It is 9 titles. 9. WWE has around 19. 10 more titles than AEW. And you want to throw in Crown Jewel Championship like this. I just don't like it. I don't like it. It is what it is, though. I don't know why we had the champions going up against one another like this. I don't. But if it's in a Survivor Series type deal, brand versus brand type deal, brand warfare type, pay-per-view, I like it. But something like this, nah. That's what they need to bring back. Bring back brand warfare in WWE. Having Nick Aldis and and Pierce going up in not a brand warfare type angle would be great. I think it would. Then we get Bailey and Lyra Valkyria up against Raquel and Roxanne Perez. Raquel and Perez are the victors in this, and then you had Bailey attack Lyra at the end. And she was like, "You think you can hug me?" No, that's Bailey versus Roxanne. My bad. Yeah, Bailey versus Roxanne, and Roxanne comes out with the win. Or Bailey defeated Roxanne. Bailey defeated Roxanne Perez. And when Bailey won, Lyra came out and tried to hug her, and then Bailey pushed down Lyra and was like, "You try to hug me? You can't hug me." Like I said, split personality is going to be good. So, and Bailey and Roxanne put it a good match. They really did. And I don't know, this Judgment Day thing, I hope it comes to an end soon. It's just running its course. It's ran its course. We have Rusev and JD McDonough in a match. Great match, in my opinion. Rusev won by submission. So we will get sorry, I had a text. So it looks like we're going to get Rusev versus Dominic for the Intercontinental Championship. And it'll probably be a Crown Jewel, I'd imagine. It'll probably be a Crown Jewel. Yeah, I just hope it pays off to where Rusev wins, but I have a feeling it's going to be where the shenanigans happen, and we get the Judgment Day interfering, and Dominic Mysterio retains. So now we got the LA Knight versus Jey Uso, and this was a good match between Jey Uso and LA Knight, and they look to be heating up in a good feud. It's like this is going to carry on. I like the fact that we had the Vision come out and they did the 1-up to Jey Uso. I don't think Jey is going to join the Vision. I don't. But Jey Uso left. The Vision was beating up LA Knight. And as Jey Uso was leaving, Jimmy was like, "Come on, we got to help him." And then it had Jimmy Uso going in with the steel chair, and then Vision walked out. So Jey Uso in this little heel turn, I like it. I really do. We'll see how this pays off, but not sure how this is going to work. Next, we had Mommy Rhea Ripley going big Empress of Tomorrow. Asuka match as well. They both put on a solid main event match, and it ended to where Asuka and Kairi were beating up Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Ripley defeated Asuka, but Asuka sprayed Io with that mist, and it was that blue. And a lot of people are comparing Rhea with that Avatar thing. But this was a good main event. It's a great match at the end. I loved it. And of course, Rhea Ripley is my favorite on the WWE Women's roster. Since she got the victory, she'll be Women's World Champion again. She will. She'll be a 3-time Women's World Champion soon. But these two had a great match, and Kairi Sane was like conflicted. She didn't want to do it, and Asuka was like, "Do it," and basically got her to beat up Io Sky. Then they beat up both Io and Rhea. And I have a feeling this is going to lead up to a tag team match at Crown Jewel as well. And we'll have that, and probably the Raw in Perth as well, Australia. We'll probably get that Women's World Title match with Stephanie, Valkyria, Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley will probably win. Maybe. I don't know. So now to NXT, the A show. That's right, the A show. NXT is the better brand, in my opinion. With Raw and SmackDown. They got better stories, better matches. I love NXT's matches. But Shawn Michaels is great. He's a better booker, in my opinion, than Triple H. NXT is just a superior show. And they got barely 50 to 100 people in the crowd. It doesn't matter about the crowd attendance, y'all. Everybody's always like, oh, there's a few hundred people in the crowd or this and that. No. If they give me good wrestling matches and good show, I care less if there's 50 people in the crowd. Man, some impacts back in the day. Some good shows. Really good shows. Matter about how many people are in the crowd. Business, blah, 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 blah. If you are a wrestling fan and if you watch, there's times where I've seen it is a full house crowd up to 3,000 people, and the show wasn't. It doesn't matter about how many people in the crowd. But NXT was a solid show. Lexis King and Miles Bourne had a lights out match, which I liked. I thought this was really cool. I really did. Miles Bourne won, and I like the push Miles Bourne is getting. And we really need a Miles Bourne versus Randy Orton match, y'all. I'm just saying, it would be great. Miles Bourne versus Randy or Lexis King was, like I said, was a great match. I give it a good A. It was really good. NXT again, it has some great matches. Bourne won by putting King through the table, and again, more with the sponsorships on the table. So, and we got a little teaser of Triple H and Shawn Michaels fighting over NXT. I'm curious if that's going to lead to anything. I would like to see it where it be NXT versus main roster yet, again. And I think they could probably do a great job with that, but we'll see. But I love this. But I'm curious of where this is going to go. It'll be cool to see NXT Black and Gold against the Black and Silver. So we'll see how this goes. So we get next Tavion Heights versus Ethan Page. Then this was a really good match. We're going to get Ethan Page and Tavion Heights for the NXT North American Championship. Tavion Heights won this match. This was a non-title match. But Tavion Heights won. And we get so I would like to see them lead up to I would like to see Tavion Heights win the NXT North American Championship. Sorry, I went blank there for a second. I would like to see him win the title, honestly. I really, really would. And then next we got Candice LeRae versus Fabi Apache. And if you don't know where she's from AAA. And this was a really good match in itself as well. These two put on a really good match. This is for the Speed tournament. And the winner will go on to face Sol Ruca for the title. Reed defeat. Oh, wait, this is Laney Reed. Wow. So this is Reed going up against Candice LeRae. And Reed won this match and is going to face Sol Ruca for the NXT Speed Championship at NXT No Mercy. And I'm not a fan of the Speed thing. I'm not. I really am not. Away with it again. More time. Y'all complain about titles. This. I'm not a fan of the Speed Championship. I'm not. They can do away with it. I don't like the speed matches like this, like it is the time limit. I don't. It's very staged, very spotty, and all that stuff. I just don't like it. Reed won. She's going to face. It's not Fox Reed, Lady Reed, and she's going. She won up against Candice LeRae, and she is now going to face Soruka for the NXT Speed Championship. And then next we get Jordan Grace versus Ariana Grace. Grace versus Grace. This was a really fun match. Really good. It was short though. Jordan Grace defeated Ariana Grace, and we had Blake Monroe come out. We're going to have Blake Monroe go up against Jordan Grace. It looks Jordan Grace at NXT No Mercy. Maybe the feud will come to an end there. Next, we had Dark State versus Joe Hendry and Chase U. And we had Dark State win and defeat Joe Hendry and Chase U. But this was a really good six-man tag team match. This really was. I enjoyed this match. And I really do love the Dark State group. I think they're a really good group, and they've grown on me. So I really love Dark State. They are really they're a cool group, and I really do hope that they shine on the main roster eventually. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but you got a great group of guys in there, and I think they're going to do great. They probably won't go to the main roster. They'll probably be one of the ones eventually they'll split up. They'll be single stars, and then we'll see who comes out the better man. But this was a good match. So we also had JC Jane come out, cutting her promo against Lola Vice, and this was all right promo. But we got NXT No Mercy, Lola Vice versus JC Jane for the NXT Women's Championship, which I think is going to be a really good match. So we got Oba Femi versus Trick Williams, and this was for the NXT and TNA Championship. It was a title for title match. And just like many of us expected, we had the no contest because you had TNA invading NXT. After we saw the last week for the NXT Homecoming, everybody come out on Twitter complaining about NXT taking all their titles. Well, this is what we got. So we're going to get an invasion. And WWE, I read also earlier today that they trademarked the word invasion. This is really dumb in my opinion, that everyone trademarking things. But, you know, the invasion angle is going to be cool, I think, because it's going to be a real brand warfare, instead of Raw and SmackDown, it's going to be TNA going up against WWE. That's what it's going to be. And I'm Team NXT because, Shawn Michaels, and I love my guy HBK, and I love Oba Femi, Ricky Saints, and I love love all these guys. So I'm a big Jasper Troy fan too. I think he's really good. I think he's the future as well of NXT, and he's going to be a future NXT champion and be on the main roster. Jasper Troy's got it. If you haven't been paying attention to Jasper Troy, I encourage you to do so and go rewatch some of his past stuff. He's good. I really love Jasper Troy. What's up, Ariel? How you doing? Nice of you to join. But this was really fun because you had the invasion. Everybody came out, and you had the return of Matt Cardona to WWE. We got Matt Cardona in WWE with this TNA invasion angle. I wonder if this will lead to a contract signing with Matt Cardona, and then we'll also have Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona in WWE, hopefully pairing up at some point, and we have them pair up and have Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green maybe against Punk and AJ Lee. I think that'd be fun, and Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. So I don't know, that'll be fun. But Team NXT and or Team TNA, whose side you're on? Let me know. I'm NXT. I'm Team NXT again. I loved it. But this was a great way to end the show. We'll see how it ends tonight on TNA Impact. Don't miss that because TNA Impact is going to be awesome. The main spotlight here we got tonight is going to be the final negotiations between the Hardys and T3D. There's some few matches set up as well. So go check out TNA Impact tonight and expect an invasion from NXT. And then we also get Victory Road this weekend as well, Friday night. Now on to AEW Dynamite. This was a really good show as well. We opened up with the World Tag Team title match. We had Brodito go up against Gates of Agony, and this is where I really thought Gates of Agony was going to win, but I was wrong. I really did believe Gates of Agony was going to win this match. But it was a great tag team match. Either way, it was even though Gates of Agony didn't win, they will win in due time. They will. So I'm excited for this for Gates of Agony. But we had the demand will eventually. I would like for them to hold both tag team and trios titles. I think that'd be cool, just for a little while. You don't have to be long, but just for a little while. But Brodito came out with the win. They are still your AEW tag team champions. We'll see who they will face at Wrestle Dream with the titles. But I thought this was a good match, really good tag team action right here. We had the AEW Men's World Championship match with Adam Page versus Lee Moriarty. And a lot of people, I've seen a lot of complaints with this match too. They put him in a pointless title match. They put on an open challenge title match. They said the open challenge is pointless. I thought this was a solid wrestling match, really good. Both of them put on a great wrestling match. But for it to be for the AEW Men's World Championship or not, it was still a great match. There's nothing wrong with this being a Men's World Championship match. This was a good match. Yes, Heyman and Page will come out the winner, but they put on in a great match. And that's what I'm saying. That's as long as they get a great wrestling match. Because a lot of times we'll kind of know who's going in winning the match. But as long as I get a good, really great wrestling match, even though who I know might win, I still love the match. And I won't have any complaints, even though – and I have no complaints because my guy Heyman and Page won. Sorry, Lee Moriarty, but Heyman's my guy, okay? I love Adam Page. But I've seen the complaints, and again, don't go look for them. They just come up on my feed. But they put on a good championship match. They really did. Lee Moriarty really shined in this, and he's going to be the future of AEW as well. Yeah. Going back to NXT and TNA real quick. Ariel says, go tell to TNA that we are not their kind. This is not TNA. This is NXT. This is my yard. Yep, that's right. NXT is my yard. I love NXT. So a great match with Heyman, Adam Page, and Lee Moriarty. Solid match right there. And then we get Dax Hardwood and Cash Wheeler, Stokely Hathaway coming out. We get them coming out in a really good angle right here. I love the promos and the gaslighting of the apology and stuff like that. And you get Willow Nightingale coming out. And she comes out and gets a good promo about Beth Copeland and the company. So I love that she came out, and it was a good angle right here. And then when it looked like FTR was going to team up on Willow, out comes Jet Speed. So we had Jet Speed come out, and it looks like we'll probably we would get next week Jet Speed and FTR going up against Jet Speed and FTR next week on Dynamite as well. If not, it'll probably be on Collision. Not this week's Collision, but next. And then we get Don Callis' family, Kazuchika Okada, Takeshita, and Heshachiro. and they're going up against Mark Briscoe, Art Hologram, and the return of Orange Cassidy. Freshly squeezed. That's right. He came back, and this was a really good trios match. Hologram, Cassidy, and Mark defeat Don Callis family, and we're going to get that Okada Takeshi feud. It's going to happen, and I can't wait. This feud's going to be really good and really fun. And then we get the clone, is what's being called. As little after the match, this was a clone like glitch type video. It came in. It's called the clone. I would like it for it to be the glitch. Because hologram, the glitch, I thought it'd be cool. But the clone, and we have at the end of this, Kyle Fletcher challenge hologram for the title versus streak match, which I think is going to be a great match. But I really do believe we'll see the debut of the clone, or the glitch is what I like to call, and we'll see him cost hologram his streak, and we'll get the clone versus hologram in a feud, which I think will be cool. Because I don't think Kyle Fletcher is losing that TNT championship. He's not. But speaking of the TNT title, he's defending it this week as Saturday night as well. But I think this is going to be a good wrestling match between Hologram and Fletcher, and then we'll see the debut of the clone, and then we'll see the clone and Hologram put on some great matches, and we'll see that story unfold. You got Claudio Castagnoli going up against Powerhouse Hobbs, which this was a great wrestling match as well. I love this match. Claudio and Hobbs put on a great wrestling match. Claudio won, which I thought Hobbs was going to win, but Claudio won. And someone pointed out Claudio would be a great feud for Heyman and Page for the world title, and I think so as well. So we can see the Claudio Castagnoli should step up and face Heyman and Page for the Men's World Championship at Wrestle Dream. I think it'll be a good one. I think it will. For what you saw, you don't think anybody would dethrone unless it's Claudio dethrone Okada? Is that who you're talking about? Let me know. I kind of fell behind on the comments there. So this was good. We had Death Riders and Heyman and Page. We had the Ops and Death Riders and Heyman and Page come out, and this was a really good match in my opinion. I loved it. Then we had the AEW Women's World Championship match with Chris Statlander up against Mina Shirakawa, which this was a great women's match in my opinion. I loved this match. I enjoyed these two put on a great wrestling match, Statlander and Mina Shirakawa. And at the end, I thought we were going to get Britt Baker coming back. I was like, man, Britt Baker, since this is the main event, Britt Baker's got to be coming back in Pittsburgh. But it didn't happen. But we did get the Death Riders coming out and surrounding the ring. And then you have Yuta raise the hand of Chris Statlander. And she then clotheslines Yuta, flips off Jon Moxley, and her and Harley Cameron exit out of the ring. Then when that happens, you had Darby Allin music hits, and he comes out with a freaking flamethrower. That's right, a flamethrower. And he kind of fends off and he was, he's smart, He gonna come out with just him or a chair or whatever. He comes out with the flamethrower because if he has a chair, they can charge him, overpower him, and do what they want with him. But he has a flamethrower? Yeah, nobody can get near him, as you saw. They backed off, and they're like, yeah, let's get out of here before we get lit on fire. But this was a great angle at the end, and Darby Allin challenged Jon Moxley to an I Quit match, and it looks like we're going to get that at Wrestle Dream. And maybe this will be the end of the Moxley and Darby Allin feud. Maybe. But if not, Moxley and Allin are going to have a great feud either way. If this continues out to Wrestle Dream, I'm still going to be a fan of it. So this is how AEW ends. And this is your recap of AEW and WWE throughout the week. Tonight we have TNA Impact. Tune in to Impact. It's going to be a solid show, and it's going to lead up for Victory Road tomorrow, and then we're going to have at in October, on October 12th, Bound for Glory, and I'm going to do a watch along for that. So stay tuned. And hopefully to have my brother Dev the Tribal Chief on for that. But for WWE and AEW this week, again, I enjoy AEW more over WWE. This is me, okay, in my opinions. I love WWE and I still watch. I love NXT more than I do Raw and SmackDown. But I'm enjoying AEW more over WWE. That's my opinion. If you're enjoying WWE over AEW, then great. You're loving professional wrestling, and I love it. I love it. I've seen the complaints out there. I've seen the tribalism. I've seen people pick sides in WWE and AEW. Will I call out what I don't like? Sure. Will I make it a vocal point that WWE or AEW is garbage? No. Because they're not. The only thing I really do not like about WWE is TKO because they are pulling the strings, they're dictating what happens and where shows are at, this and that. They're chasing the dollar instead of making this about the fans, because that's what it's about. It's not about it's about the wrestling fans. But TKO doesn't get that because they don't understand professional wrestling. They don't. Yes, they understand business. They understand the dollar. But they don't understand professional wrestling. And this is where this is going to get WWE in a bind because TKO wants to make it like this UFC combat sports type thing. Which also I do believe professional wrestling is. That's like how AEW treats it. But WWE is not, they're not doing, like we should have got, a lot of people have stated, and I agree with this, we could have gotten Randy Orton at the end of Wrestlepalooza, costing Rhodes the title. And set up a Rhodes versus Randy feud, giving Cody something fresh without the title. And they go into a little grudge rivalry to where maybe it leads Cody back to the championship, winning it back. I don't know. But it could have been a lot better than what it was at the end. The outcome was not what of course, not what I wanted. But Wrestlepalooza was still a good show. It was okay. It was a good show. The only really big letdown for me was Lesnar versus Cena. Everything else on the show was a good show. The women's match was the match of the night. And then Becky Lynch and CM Punk versus AJ Lee. Becky Lynch and CM Punk. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins versus CM Punk and AJ Lee was a fun match. I enjoyed it. But I enjoyed All Out more than I did Wrestlepalooza. I did. And if you enjoyed Wrestlepalooza more than All Out, then that's you. But I love professional wrestling, and when I get wrestling matches like I do with AEW, where they're 20 to 40 minutes long and they're great matches, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not a guy that's for the moment, even though I do enjoy moments. I enjoy when Jurassic Express came back. I enjoyed when AJ Lee came back. Those moments are good as well, but I want to see great wrestling matches. This is what I want to see. And when I see great wrestling matches, that's what gets me. This is why I'm Aaron Loves Wrestling. It's not Aaron loves moments in wrestling. It's not Aaron loves stories in wrestling. It's Aaron loves wrestling. I love professional wrestling. And when I see better matches on New Japan and AEW and CMLL and even NXT than I do Raw and SmackDown. Raw has some good matches. I'm not saying they don't, but NXT has better ones. NXT has some better stories going on over there too, consistent stories. I don't think they're getting I don't think TKO is really meddling with NXT that much because of, it is the developmental brand. That's why Raw and SmackDown aren't that good because, TKO wants what the dollar want, what wants the dollar. And if Cody Rhodes is selling the shirts and this and that, then that's who's going to be your champ. Instead of maybe against somebody else like Drew McIntyre, or getting someone else as your world champion on Raw besides Seth Rollins. We'll probably get Roman Reigns defeating Seth Rollins for that world championship. I pretty much guarantee it. But maybe not. Maybe it'll be Braun Breaker. He's tired of Seth Rollins, telling him what to do, and then Braun Breaker comes out and challenges Seth Rollins for the world championship and wins it, and you have Braun Breaker as your new world champion. If that happens, that'd be great. And I love it. I love it. Cody Rhodes, I don't know. We could see him in a feud with Randy Orton, but I think a feud with Randy Orton without the title would be much better. Drew McIntyre could have got the win, got a good solid run, got a good title push, or got a good title run, and got a big push. But there's just so much with WWE right now. They're just, I don't know. With the Raw and SmackDown, there's some good stuff going on, but NXT to me is the better show. I love NXT. And Shawn Michaels was on a interview with Chris Van Vliet last week, and he was talking about that he was wanting to make NXT, a solid third brand of WWE, which I think he can. Shawn Michaels has a great mind for professional wrestling. I think he can. I think he can make NXT a solid third brand for WWE. I really do. So, this is your AEW and WWE review. Again, you got TNA tonight. Comment below what you think. Comment below what you think of the tonight we got Ring of Honor and TNA. So Ring of Honor got some solid matches going on too. TNA has got some good things going on tonight, especially the return of T3D, and we got the Hardys and T3D in their final negotiations before their match of Bound for Glory, which again I'll be doing a Bound for Glory watch along, so tune in for that. We got SmackDown tomorrow, Collision on Saturday night, and they were starting the new week and starting off with Monday Night Raw. So I love love what I saw this week. Raw and NXT and Dynamite did good. Oh, and don't forget NWA Power. That's also on Tuesday night. We'll go rewatch that show here in a minute. So enjoy professional wrestling, y'all. Love professional wrestling. If you love WWE more, cool. Do I think you're a tribalist? No. If you love WWE more, you love it more. Do you love AEW more? Do I think you're a tribalist? No. You love AEW more. If you love TNA more than both AEW and AEW, or New Japan, no. You just love it more than you did the other shows. If that's all you watch, I love what Eddie Kingston said on an interview last week as well. He had an interview last week, and I love what he pointed out. He pointed out, leave the tribalism to the boys, which is the talent. Eddie Kingston said that he bats for AEW. He's on their team, just like someone playing for the Yankees or the Red Sox. But when they go to the other side, then they're playing for that team. So yeah, he'll take shots at WWE because he's playing for the AEW team. But he said a good message to us wrestling fans about the tribalism and about picking sides. Because if you ignore the other side, you might ignore, or you might miss what you might be a fan by being a fan of somebody. You might miss a really great match. You might miss a new talent you might be a fan of. And you might love the product more than you think you would. This is what Eddie Kingston pointed out. And when he pointed it out, I thought it was great. He said he was a hardcore WWF fan in the 90s. But he tuned in to WCW and he saw a lot of great talent over there. And he enjoyed many talent that was over there. It's Eddie Guerrero and others that he mentioned. And then he tuned into ECW and he loved what they were doing over there. But he was a hardcore WWF fan. But don't ignore the other side. You know, me? Yeah. I guess you could say I'm a hardcore AEW fan, but I'm ignoring WWE. I'm not ignoring TNA. I'm watching them. NWA Power, New Japan. So, doesn't mean you're tribalist. Same for those who love WWE or AEW. You got some talent in WWE. Some are former AEW. People want to point out all this Fed stuff. Now, I disagree with WWE trying to monopolize the business and try to be the only one company in the wrestling business and controlling everything. I disagree with that. I do. It's more so TKO, but I disagree with it. You know, WWE shouldn't worry about them, not worry about AEW. Same for AEW, not worried about WWE, which AEW has stated many times. And even Hangman and the Page said on the All Out post show that they're just focused on AEW. They're not worried about everybody else. They're not worried about what the other side is doing. But apparently WWE is. Apparently they are. They're trying to counter program. I don't want to see it for neither side. AEW focus on AEW, WWE focus on WWE. And then TNA, Santino Marella, he stated that if TNA gets a new TV deal, they'll be the number 2 company. We'll see. I'm not saying they won't. I'm not saying they will. Well, we will see. If they get a good deal on Netflix or something like that, I could see more eyes getting on TNA, and maybe that fan base will grow. But we'll have to wait and see. I do enjoy TNA. I love it. I love Leon Slater over there. He's one of my favorites in TNA. Shout out to Leon Slater. Of course, I love my Hardy Boys. I love the Hardys. Mike Santana. I love Mike Santana. They got great talent over there. So I love TNA as well. But again, you ignore the tribe. You stick to one company, you might miss what you might like on the other side. And that's just me. As far as my thoughts on the Gail Kim, what she's seen online with X, I disagree with what she said. There's no need to point out Rio and about like that. And yeah, she's small, but she's still a great wrestler. And this whole quote unquote believable thing that Gail Kim stated, look, there's a lot of things in wrestling that are not believable. Okay. I'm sorry. But if someone gets hit in the head with a freaking steel chair, they're getting knocked out. They're not getting backed up. They're not dazed or this and that. They're knocked out. There's a lot of things in professional wrestling. Yes, that's not real. But it doesn't mean what they don't do. There's a high price to pay. The bumps they do. But it's still fun. And we still love it. And Rio winning in a match, especially against someone like Mercedes Moné, which she didn't win, but if she did win that match, it would have been believable. But she's pointing out her size. Well, let's see. Alexa Bliss, about 100 pounds. Roxanne Perez, AJ Lee. A good list off of numbers of other wrestlers about roughly 100 pounds. It doesn't matter. It matters if they can wrestle and sell it. And that's what Rio does. So, Rio, if you're listening, I support you. And keep doing what you do. Ignore the negative comments. But that's the end of this show. I love professional wrestling. I hope you do too. Just love professional wrestling, y'all. Love y'all. Comment your thoughts below of all the shows this week. Comment your thoughts on Palooza and All Out, Raw, NXT, Dynamite. Get ready for TNA Impact tonight, Ring of Honor, and get ready for SmackDown. Have a blessed night, y'all. Love y'all. And just remember, love professional wrestling. Have a good one.
Lights go down, the bell's about to ring. Aaron's in the booth talking about everything from WWE to classics and the rest. You know he's got the passion and he's bringing you the best. Aaron loves wrestling.